Kids in the background.
I
Well,
do.
you know it's not me.
Okay,
Not
we are
me.
live. This is Attorney Vincent Davis, and this is The Secret: How to Fight CPS and Win. Tonight I'm joined by my two co-hosts, Miss Deidre Payne, Miss Payne from Orange County, California, Westminster, the city of Westminster. How are you, Deidre?
I'm doing good, Mr. Davis. Thank you.
Good, you got a whole new background going on there today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I figured I'd change it up. It's the little Lego city town that we've created with our kids.
Oh, okay.
Oh
Crazy.
wow.
Very good. Very
Yeah, it's
good.
very intense.
And my other co-host, all the way from the state of Maine, Mr. Darren Guy. Mr. Guy, how are you?
I'm well, Mr. Davis. Thank you for asking.
How's the weather out in Maine?
It's 52 degrees right now.
Okay. By the way, I wanted to tell you I did get your email. Thank you,
Oh,
and I will be replying to it. I just was really busy today.
yes, sir.
Alrighty.
It was National Daughters Day, right?
Yes. So we have a guest, a special guest here this evening, Miss Gabby S. Miss Gabby, where are you from?
The Bay Area in California.
Oh, you're here in California. Very good. So what's
Look
going?
at the wind in
What,
her hair.
what's going?
It's 77 right now, and I have to have the fan on. So
That's
No,
what a
I
disgrace.
understand. I understand. What county are you? Is your case in California?
Santa Clara,
Okay.
and I apologize for the background noise. I do have my baby that's like pretty much attached to the hip.
Okay. So what's going on with you and CPS in Santa Clara County?
Uh, well, as I no, you couldn't make it last week, but as I mentioned last week, my case has been going on for three years now, and I've done my case plan. I've done the pretty much every loop that they have put me through, and yet I still not able to get my kids back.
Well, wait a minute. You have a kid with you, right?
Yes,
Yep.
So how is that possible that you'd have one kid, a baby, and not the other?
I I have asked myself that question. I've asked the judge that question, and pretty much like the whole team the question as to how is it that I am a fit mom for my 1 year old and not a fit mom for my at the time at a 8 year old and a 6 year old. When I was pregnant with him and right before I gave birth, I did ask the social worker if he was going to be falling under the sibling protocol. And she told me that he didn't qualify for it because a lot of the rules or laws changed on the sibling protocol and he didn't fall under it.
When you say sibling protocol, what do you mean?
Like, okay, like since I already had a case and another baby was coming into existence, like he was going to be part of the case since he was the brother of my other two. So kind of like a voluntary case per se.
Say that again.
It would have been kind of like a voluntary case for my youngest if he would have fallen under like the sibling protocol, or he would have been part of the case if he did qualify for it. Hold on, baby.
Well, is your does your baby have a open case?
He is not in no open case at all whatsoever.
Where are your other two kids?
They're in foster.
Why aren't they with a relative?
I That's the thing. My mom did come forward and said that she would be um, wanting to be considered for placement for my kids. She did went ahead and called the social workers and the people they told me to tell her to call, and basically they gave her the runaround. They overlooked her, and the next thing I know, the social worker calls me and tells me that they already found a placement for my kids. And I expressed my feelings as to why they couldn't choose my mom or why they didn't even consider her at all.
How long has your case been open?
3 years.
And when is the next court date?
That will be November 3rd.
Third.
Are they trying to terminate your parental rights?
I don't think they're terminating my parental rights. So my last court was in May. Um, and that's when my case closed because it was at a 24 month period and whatnot. But because my kids' current foster placement couldn't be their permanent placement anymore due to health reasons of the foster parents, they had to look for another place, and that's when they decided to give me what they're calling enhanced services. Even though my case is closed, I'm getting those enhanced services.
What do you mean your case is closed?
I thought I was under the impression that it was still open because I was doing services such as the random drug testing, and they also wanted me to do counseling in an outpatient. But I recently just found out that it's actually closed.
What type of permanent plan are your children in?
I believe they're going into guardianship.
Oh, they're in guardianship with a foster parent?
Yes.
Miss Payne, do you have any questions for our guest?
We had her on the show on Friday when you couldn't make it because I think you got stuck somewhere. But she was stating that, like she said, she was pregnant with her youngest when her case first opened. And so what I think she was trying to clarify a little bit along the lines of what happened to me, meaning because I had an open case when I gave birth to my youngest, they immediately took my youngest and, put them in their custody. And so that's what she thought was going to happen. But like you said in the beginning, Mr. Davis, she's in California. Isn't there a law where you stay it all the time? How can you be a fit mother for one child, but not an okay fit mother for your other children?
Right. I say that all the time.
And she said that she has fought that since the beginning of her case, and her attorney and everybody she asked, even the judge, she says, will not basically give her a straight answer of why that is what it is. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, because there is no straight answer.
Also, I take them to each and every court that I have. And
yeah. Can you believe that? She shows up to court with her youngest.
Not only that, but I get compliments as to how much of a wonderful job I'm doing with him.
You're able to file a 388 petition.
Yes.
In order to get your two kids back. Have you tried that?
Yes, I have. And actually, I'm going to be trying to do that again this time, or I'm going to try and get my attorney to do that again this time, and also to submit such as letters that I've done,
bonding study, remember?
Videos, and possibly ask for a bonding study, like you guys said.
I didn't say bonding study.
No, I recommended that to her on Friday when she was on.
Oh.
I thought maybe that would be a good thing that she could maybe ask her attorney too. I don't know, Mr. Davis. You weren't there. I'm not giving legal advice. It was just my opinion. I'm in the doghouse today. You should have seen what happened earlier, Mr. Davis. Ooh, Lordy. It was a riot. Did you hear yet?
Gabby, what are they talking about?
She might not know. Darren's being very quiet. He's pleading the fifth. Let's just say that they invited me on their show today for the trenches, and it ended with Mike's wife / soon-to-be ex-wife also appearing. And he has court tomorrow. Yes, and he has court tomorrow. But nobody would take my advice, Mr. Davis, and I thought Mr. Davis would say, no, Mike, don't do it. And Darren and Mike both said, it's our show, we're doing it.
Did it turn out well?
Well,
She's
yeah.
very nice. She's a very nice lady. Very nice. I'll tell you what, Mike was in the park with that. He did very well.
Hey, Gabby.
Yes.
I want you to listen to this, and I don't want you to write it down because it'll be on the internet forever on this show, either on YouTube or one of the Facebook channels that we broadcast to, okay?
Okay.
What you need to do is you need to file a 388 petition in order the children be returned to you, or in the alternative, that you be given more family reunification services and that you be given extended visitation. I bet your visitation with these kids is monitored, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's only once a week for 4 hours.
Yeah. See, how ridiculous is that?
Because they are placed in a different county than I am. So I guess that was the reason, because they're also attending school, so I only get to see them every Saturday. But lately they've been switching my my visits like everywhere. They've just been bouncing
Yeah.
around everywhere.
So you need to get more visits, weekends, overnights, that type of thing. And you need to, when you file the 388, you need to mention this to your attorney, although I don't think your attorney will appreciate it. You not only have to fill out the form, you should have some points and authorities, legal points and authorities with it. You should also have your declaration and declaration of other witnesses. You should have videos. You should have exhibits. You should have pictures, of your time with the children. And, now that I consider it, maybe Miss Payne might have an idea there of having a bonding study. Maybe the bonding person can, or the psychologist can tell us what a great bond you have. Or,
Hmm.
it's a two double-edged sword. They might say, oh, she doesn't have a bond. The kid should stay with the guardian.
Yeah, because my
So
kids, when I go
it's kind
visit
of risky.
them, when I go visit them, like towards the end of the visit, they're like, "Oh, I don't want to go," or "Mom, I don't want to have visits with you anymore. I want to come home with you. I want to live with you."
Yeah. So that's what you should do. That's what you should do. You should file a good 388, not
Okay.
a weak 388. A lot of people told me, "Oh, you think I should file a 388?" Yes. Okay, I'm going to do that myself. Goodbye.
Mm-mm.
And then they call me back and they say, "Oh, it didn't work." Really? Didn't work? Who filed your 388? Oh, I filled it out. Okay. That's like you performing your own open heart surgery. You're probably not qualified to do that.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay, so that's what
She
you
said
should.
a lot of good things real quick, Gabby, that I think I wanted to share for you if you don't mind. She said
Sure.
too, like things, for instance, remember you said like when you would come to the visit, how your two older children would literally run to the car and approach your youngest and vice versa, and just the, bond right there of
Yeah.
excitement of how they just could not contain themselves because they just wanted to see each other. And
Right.
how our two older kids would like fight in a nice way of, no, I want to play with him. No, I want to play with him. Like all of that stuff, I think, is what, really shows that it would just be detrimental, to break that bond that your
And
siblings have.
yeah, and I also forgot to mention they do that with me as well. Hold on, baby, give it to me. They do that to me as well. Like they run, like they see me, they get out of the car, they either go to a brother or they run and jump on top of me and say, "Mom, mom, mom," and like start hugging me. And then after that, they go in the car and start looking for brother.
Now, did we not talk about? I know you guys just said 388, but I think we were asking this question last time too. There was a mention of the 366, right? Is that
Yeah,
what we
that's the termination. That's the
That's
right?
termination of parental rights.
Right, and I think we were looking for some clarification from Mr. Davis on that, right?
Well, yeah, I think he did it right now, right? The 388 is you could file kind of at any time throughout your case, right, Mr. Davis?
That's
But
right.
what's the 366?
The 366 is strictly termination. I think. Go ahead, Mr.
No,
Davis.
no, 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 no. That's not true.
See,
There's a
don't listen.
366.21.22. I think there's a 0.24, and there's a 0.26.
26.
The 0.26 is usually the termination statute. Okay, and she's not facing that yet, although they could file a 388 to get permission to file a 2-6 hearing against her and turn her guardianship into an adoption, which would be, like the worst thing possible for her and the children, in my opinion.
They well, we already passed that stage because they were actually going to put my kids up for adoption about a year ago.
But
Um,
hold on. You haven't passed that stage. They could come back to it anytime.
okay.
That's why you need to file your 388 to try to get them back now.
Okay.
Okay.
Didn't you say they want to adopt?
No, that was a year ago when they put them
Oh,
up for
that
adoption.
family.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
And when the family couldn't keep the kids, why didn't they place the kids with relatives?
Your
That was,
mom.
yeah, like I was saying, my mom came forward, but they gave her the runaround, and they never really like looked into placing them with my mom.
Did your mom have a lawyer?
No.
Why not?
She just because I just had barely asked her when they told me that they were going to place my kids with another foster placement. That's when I asked my mom if she can, come forward and take my kids.
And what happened?
And like I said, she gave her information, and then one social worker told her to call another one. That one told her to call the other one back, and they just gave her they were ping pong playing her. And at the end, they didn't even look into if she qualified or she passed the background. None of that.
Let me ask you something, Gabby.
Mm-hmm.
Let's assume that the social worker came to your house tonight and went back in your back bedroom into your closet, into that hidden space underneath the floorboard, and she found $10 million that you had hidden there. And she took the $10 million, slung it over her shoulder, and walked out of your home. What would you do?
I'll fight to get it back.
Really?
Just
Would you get a lawyer?
I would try.
Okay. Are your kids worth $10 million?
They're worth more than that.
My point exactly. So tell your mother, get a lawyer. Mr. Guy, do you have any questions or comments?
No, I was still kind of waiting for the whole 366 thing that I was just asking.
What were you waiting on?
Maybe, well, just kind of like you said that there's multiple things for the 366, and where I'm from, Maine, and we don't have a 366, and we talk about California all the time. I kind of was looking for maybe a little rundown on that.
On one of the old shows, and I don't think you were a host then, there was a host by the name of Cassandra.
Yep.
Cassandra had found, and she posted this on one of the shows, she had found an internet site where you type in a law from one state and it gives you the equal law in another state, and you get to pick the state you want. So you might want to get a hold of that. Apparently, Deidre has that. But what were you going to say, Gabby?
Yeah, so I'm just looking at my last court report, and they're actually the 366 2.6, which is selection and implementation.
See, that's why we had talked
implementation hearing, right? But they're not having that now unless the social worker or the foster parents decide they want to adopt. Then they'll set a 2.6 hearing again, and you can have another one. Okay.
Okay.
Deidre, were you going in your file cabinets to find something?
No, I was trying to shoo away the saint.
Shoo away the
No, I wasn't. The saint.
Oh. I thought you said you had the internet or the web address that Cassandra posted on a show.
I thought you were going to ask about the other one, the Children's Gateway one.
Oh, okay. Do either of you know Cassandra?
Yes.
Yeah.
You might want to contact her and ask her for that website, because we should plaster that all over all over this show.
Yes, sir.
So people can, look at, when I talk about a California law like 388, they could look at what it's called in their state and what it says in their state.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Gabby, do you have any other questions for me?
No.
Okay, so I told you some information which I believe is going to be valuable to you. You need an attorney. Get your attorney to help you prepare that 388 like I suggested.
Okay.
Preparing the 388 is only half the battle. You realize that, right?
Correct.
Because once you file the 388, the judge will just grant a hearing. That doesn't mean the judge is going to grant you your wish. Then at the hearing, you have to prove that there has been a change in circumstances and that it would be best for the two children to be given back to you, or to give you expanded visits, or to give you more family reunification services. Okay? So once you file the 388, don't think that if the judge grants you a hearing, that means you're automatically going to win. As a matter of fact, a lot of times you're granted a hearing and then you go to the hearing and you lose, and you're right back where you started from. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Do you have any questions for me or for Deidre or for Darren?
No.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm sure right now. Hold on, baby.
Okay. Hold on. We don't want to have him on the show though.
Hold on, Papa. Hold on.
So I'm gonna take you off the show right now,
Okay.
only because I don't want him on the show. And if you have any other questions for us,
Good luck.
Gabby, give us a call. Okay.
Okay, we'll do. Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Good luck, Gabby. Good luck. Oh, that background. Whew.
Jeez, that was very chaotic.
That was like Mr. Davis against the circus.
Wow.
Holy mackerel.
Very pungent on the ears. Anyway.
Why are you doing that? You can see my lovely Lego town. There you go.
Is that like
a lot of work?
Is that like an additional bedroom in your house?
Yeah, it's supposed to be the kids' room. Meaning it's just a guest room now, but
Those are
Legos.
very expensive.
Yeah,
Yes, they are very expensive, and it's a lot of work.
Yeah,
Wow.
But you know what? The kids got us started in this. See, it like turns.
You
That's
got
really
a
cool.
you got a fortune in Legos there.
Yes, we do. Remember before when I showed you all the Technic ones that my husband does, like the big car ones? See, and the train goes around. My husband's in the middle of redoing the sea area. So this was all sea with the big, pirate boat and everything.
You know, what does your husband do for work or a living?
I was just gonna say something about it.
He owns his own business. He does professional window cleaning. When I used to work in the restaurants, like in Laguna and Irvine, and I would open up a lot of those newer restaurants, I would pitch him to my managers, and lo and behold, he got contracts with them. So he still has those contracts too, like down in Huntington Beach at the outdoor Pacific City there, all those restaurants. But yeah, he is a window cleaner. He's very OCD when it comes to that kind of stuff, if you know what I mean, because it's hard to clean windows the correct way.
What? We just had that.
Does he use newspaper at all?
No. You want to know what he uses? You probably just want me to tell. Number one, he uses, like the typical window, like mop heads and stuff and the squeegees. But the only solution he's ever used and he swears by is Dawn. Dawn dish soap.
Yeah.
He's tried many of things, and that always works the best. Even like down in Huntington, where all the sand and like the grime and the grit, and he has to go really early in the morning because once the sun comes out and beats on the windows, it's so hard to then clean it because the water dries so fast. But like a couple of those restaurants, like they have the outdoor windbreakers, and then they have like all of these like decorated, like either like metal or steel or wood that he has to get in between and do like all this detailed work, but it's something that when he walks away from and looks at it, like the before and the after, it's like seriously amazing the difference that window cleaning can do to a house or a restaurant. But that's what he does.
Does he clean your windows at home?
To a point where it's kind of annoying, but yeah. Even like when we go get gas at the gas station, he just has to get out and do it. And people watch him because you can always tell if you know what you're doing by the way that you move the squeegee. People just go across like this. No, he has a whole thing where you put the squeegee down once and you should be able to clean the whole window and never lift up the squeegee all the way down to the bottom.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, well, very good. Hey, look,
My OCD is so satisfied right now.
hey, guys, we've been joined by another guest for this evening, Miss Lauren Vaughn. Miss Vaughn, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. Where are you coming to us from?
I'm over in New Hampshire.
Oh, right next to me.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, you got a neighbor.
A lot of my life in Maine, but I got
I'm
stuck
only
in
in
New
South
Hampshire,
Berwick,
and
so
that
I'm
was
not that
it.
far from you.
What's that?
I'm only in South Berwick, so I'm not that far.
I was in
No
North
matter where
Berwick.
you are.
Wow, small world.
Yeah.
So what's going on with Lauren and CPS in New Hampshire?
I'm talking the town over here. I don't know where to even begin. I guess there's so many discrepancies, and I just got like the case plan the prelim and the adjudication documents on August 9th. I haven't seen my CPSW. We're supposed to meet every 30 days. I haven't seen her since April, the end of April. We just had the 3-month review, August 10th, which when we walked into the courtroom, I had my daughter and my support team, along with parent aides, attend court that day because it was the big day. It was it. We were pretty sure. The judge we've had on our case had a slip and fall that morning. We had a new judge. He didn't know the case at all. And it was my ex-husband's, her father's fitness hearing. So nobody could come in. I wish I could make this stuff up and I can't. It's the insanity of the whole thing. I've had people reach out to my CPSW to tell her that it's stagnant. I've been in full compliance. I contacted her supervisor because she was on vacation, and no response, no anything. I have support of like everybody involved in this case except for the CPSW and now her supervisor apparently. At the dispositional, we were pretty sure, and I stand by the judge's, what she said, and a lot of people think I'm crazy, but she would have given her back, but because I left a treatment program and because it was so far from home, I didn't get her. And so we were sure for the 3-month review, being in, like, I have been diligent. I've been proactive. They can't say any more nice things about me in all these reports. I had one false positive test that wasn't even of a level to report to the MRO. So it never got reported. And that was withheld reunification at the 3-month review. That I only got 15 minutes. I was pretty upset.
So have you had a 6-month review yet?
No, sir, not yet.
Is that
and let me just say, I do not know where my lawyer came from. He came out of nowhere. He makes me very upset, and he makes me cry sometimes. I'm not I'm an emotional person, but that's ridiculous. He has never done anything for me. Like, there's been no declaration of facts. There's been no evidence. There's no character. I was just really quiet from day one because they told me to be quiet.
So can we talk about day one a little bit?
Sure.
Like
let me just say, they took her from a sober living facility where women go to get their children back. In the history of this place, they have never had them come in and take a child at 9:00 at night on an emergency ex parte.
That's where you were? What happened?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow.
So tell me this like I'm a third grader. What's going on here? Like, so you were at a sobriety,
okay,
right?
so to start from day one, there was an arrest on March 9th. Upon that, I couldn't return home. They have these claims made. They also said I was convicted, which I haven't even stood before a judge yet on that. So there was 5 days in between March 9th to the ex parte. Upon arriving at the sober treatment facility, which was a mandatory, 28 days sober, like this, and it was a highly structured, faith-based, it was like the mecca of all places you would go to get your kid back and to get help. So day one there, I do the intake, I sign all the release forms. Now I've done everything that you probably shouldn't do. I have just been cooperative and signing my life away. And here you go. Yep, I want to work with you. I want to help. I want to make this better. Just give me my kid. Just leave us alone, And upon the intake, I took a urine analysis. It came up positive, which it would, but I didn't have my med list. So when they ordered my med list from my doctor, which didn't come in until April 10th, that's what their basis was for removal. So they came in, they put the emergency ex parte out, and they were there at 9 p.m. They took her back to the DCYF closed facility. I talked to her about 10:45 that night, and then I didn't talk to her for a week after that.
How old is she?
7. We're super bonded. I heard you say something about like the bonding thing. Like, you can't say this any more times in my paperwork that we're super bonded. Like, she's literally all I have. And when I wasn't able to come home, which I'm home now and I'm in my art studio, she has a beautiful bedroom, and we have amazing home, privately owned. Just, it's not, you know, fenced in yard, the whole 9. And like the casa and stuff would come here, and he's like, "This is a nice home." I said, "Why are you looking at me like that? Like you're making a judgment in your head. I can see you." I mean, things happen. There was a bad day, and it was all
life happens. That's what I said.
Huh?
Life happens.
Well, you know, life does happen, and I'll be the first to admit, like, of my wrongs. And I thought I was doing the right thing by going into treatment. I was taking medication that I shouldn't have been, and I asked to come off of it, and she told me to keep taking it. That's a story in itself, but that's how it led to this. I snapped. Like, I lost my mother a few years ago, and after that, it was just move. I never got the time to grieve. So after this, it was not only time to grieve the trauma of them taking my kid at night, like, and not talking to her for days. And like I said, I haven't talked to CPSW. I've been in full compliance. I've reached out to everybody. I've been ignored. They've been told that this case is stagnant. And I just keep, the more I read about it, because like I said, I just got the documents on August 9th. The case plan, the social studies not even done. And I haven't signed anything, which I thought was really bizarre. So we have Strength to Succeed, which is a program that it allows me to have a peer, somebody who's been through the process before, knows everything about it. I didn't get her until July.
Wow.
What state are you in?
New Hampshire.
And when did the case start?
March 16th this year. And fast. Like, it took off fast. And for no reason. And I've done everything that they're supposed to do. That was one of the notes I made to talk about was I've done it all. Like, I've provided the counseling. I've been to her dentist or doctors. I did it all myself. I needed no assistance because I was already doing these things. I chose foster due to her school. I wanted to keep her in the same school, and I'm not really that close with my family anymore since my mother's death. So I said, let me keep her in her school, which she is absolutely, and the faculty's backing me up 100%. Like, they see me, I'm the cupcake mom. And they just, you know, they don't know why this is still happening. The speed it took off was ridiculous. I'm still trying to get caught up.
So what do you have for Mr. Davis here? What are your questions that you're looking for? What do I
do about my attorney? I've asked him to withdraw. I've gone to the courthouse. I've tried to make a motion for misrepresentation. I was told yes on the phone. I get there and then it's no. I have had not a chance to defend myself. The judge, all she knows is my name. I know that there's so many contradictions in their own reports that it does, like, I can point them out as I go along. I'm like, they just said that this wasn't a treatment facility, and now here they are in the case plan. The address, my address is like 5 different addresses. I never changed my address legally, like with the post service. That's why I never got any of the documents. My lawyer I asked for the discovery. I was shut down. I can't do anything. It's like if you look up this case, it's flagged or something. They're like, don't talk to her. I mean, I'm not going to give up because I know that what my daughter is going through is not okay. There is even an investigation open on the foster mom for neglect. Yeah.
She has an open investigation, the foster mom, and she has her kid?
I have not. So she's adopted 4 and she's got mine. So she's only to foster with the option to adopt. After my daughter, she's closing her door. She does not fostering any longer. So I don't know. She was only found 3 days after the removal. Like, so my daughter was unaccounted for 3 days. I don't know where she was. There was rumors, but I digress there. So one, I didn't have an attorney. I never talked to him before the prelim. I went in and I was like catatonic, almost still from the trauma of them taking my daughter the way they did. There was 3 cops too, which I thought was really bizarre from all the other cases I look and read about, there's like 1 or 2. I had 3. And it was a private treatment facility. So that was like the basis of it was just crazy to me. And the adjudication, I can't even tell you. It was 7 days from her removal to the prelim. One of my questions is, one, could I should have had the right to appeal that, and I should have been contacted before.
Is that a question?
Yeah, because I'm not getting a clear answer from anybody. Yeah, that's a question.
Okay, state the question again for me.
After an emergency ex parte is issued, do you get warning that they're coming, or do you get the right to appeal it, or anything, a before and after, some sort of a heads up that they're coming?
Okay, hold on. You got to ask me a very clear question.
Do you get warning that they're coming if an emergency ex parte? So you don't.
No.
Do you get this? Do you get the right to appeal before?
Yeah.
Okay.
You always have the right to appeal. Now, in your state, it might be like California. I don't know, but it's not really called an appeal. It's called a writ.
Right.
And when you file a writ, it's an emergency type of deal, and you may or may not win the writ. Right.
Well, I didn't know anything about any of this until more recently than not. I didn't know how this all goes. Nobody, CPSW didn't tell, she never sat down. I literally have met with her twice since the beginning of this. One was.
Do you have a case plan?
Yeah, I just got it August 9th, and I still haven't read the whole thing because there's so much that's backwards.
No,
really.
Do you have a case plan? Like,
yes, ma'am.
Like bullet points, like parenting, drug testing, domestic violence.
It's called a road to reunification meeting once a month. And they, with the dispositional and these R2Rs is what I'm supposed to follow, is what I was told. Because I didn't get the case plan until August, and I kept saying, I know this is an issue. I should have one. And I didn't until recently. So I've been following that, to which everyone's saying, okay, good. Yeah, there was drug testing. I was in a treatment facility. There's testing weekly. Nobody ever called to get them. So it was like they just didn't exist. No results at all. The home inspection, when I got home, she didn't even come. She sent somebody else to come do the home inspection, another CPSW that I don't know. And they took a drug test while they were here. That was the one that prevented reunification, but was not enough to report to the MRO. It's just, this case is so backwards.
So that false positive that she took when she came to do your home study was the reason why then technically you couldn't go forward with her coming home?
Yeah, and then she emailed me out of nowhere and told me that reunification's off the table.
Jesus.
She can't even do
Doesn't
that.
Doesn't the judge have to make that decision, Mr. Davis?
Yeah, and her supervisor corrected it in one of the meetings because she was like, she can't do that. And I was like, so how do you think that made me feel? I haven't talked to her at all. And then this is the email that I get out of nowhere for no reason, 2 months after, which I've tested again, and they're always negative. There was never any positive testing. There was never any drugs found. I'm just kind of going along with it. I was arrested for a DV, a simple assault.
So are you still getting reunification services or no?
No, I don't know. We're in this weird gray area right now where I've reached out to all of them 2 or 3 times, sometimes a day, and I get no reply.
What type of hearing is your next one? 6 months, you said?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Does that mean she still has reunification services, Mr. Davis?
Yes, it sounds like she still does.
I know she couldn't make that call, and her supervisor corrected it, and then again, I haven't heard from anybody again since. The R2R meetings, you only get 6 of them, and that was our last one. So I reached out today to see what are we doing? Like, what next? Like,
are you still drug testing on your own to like prove that you are? Okay, that's good.
She just said, and she said with her own mouth at the meeting, any reputable location. So I said, okay, so I don't have to take your 96 panel test. I'll go take one with my doctor or Quest or wherever, somewhere. And she just texted me on Friday at like 4:10 p.m. because she leaves at 4 o'clock. Well, we have open access. You can come in and test with our LADAC. That's your LADAC. That's not mine. I'm in treatment. Like, I just completed my program and I still picked up 20 more sessions. Like, I like it. It's fun. Parenting class, you name it. I've been in full. So partial compliance is what they stated I was. And that was based off of that false positive test. What would indicate it to be partial when it was substantial at the very least, let alone full? Nobody will answer any of these on this side. And I know you're far from here, Mr. Davis. So I don't, New Hampshire is very tricky with their laws.
Well, Massachusetts just took over them too, right? Massachusetts implemented their stuff into the state of New Hampshire.
What do you mean?
You have that chaotic thing going on.
What do you mean by that? I don't understand that.
The state of Massachusetts has taken control of New Hampshire's Department of Human Services, CPS.
Is that true, Lauren?
I have no idea.
I'll send you the article. I'll put the article up.
When was this just recently?
When that little boy had ended, or was it the little boy or the little girl ended up missing, the one that their family was from like Laconia or something? That's what implemented it. Because they didn't know where the kid was. No one could tell where the kid was or something.
That's crazy. Well, that might be a good thing, actually.
Yeah, but then wouldn't that really affect your case if Massachusetts now technically has taken over for CPS in your state?
I don't know,
Mr. Davis.
I don't know. I don't know what Darren is referring to. There could be so many different variations of what he's saying.
Because how would like all those social workers in New Hampshire know the laws of Massachusetts?
They don't. Well, see, now here's the thing. So they hired like 100 and something plus new workers and just set them out there. Like they
from Massachusetts.
No, I know CPS is from Massachusetts. I'm originally from Massachusetts. Don't tell anybody. But their laws, they're a little more like reasonable, if you will. I mean, New Hampshire is very strict. I mean, to come in and take a child based off of a drug test from a treatment facility that's faith-based, that doesn't make any sense. I wish that Mass would have stepped in right then and there, because they would have been
because if that was the case, the treatment center probably would have kicked you out if that was truly a positive test, right?
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, it was that girl, Harmony Montgomery.
Yeah, Harmony. I stayed there for like 2 months after. Like it was a year-long program. I would have stayed, but I was so far from where I'm at that.
Mr. Davis, don't you always say one of the main things to prevent them from taking your child is if they have no other means of causes or something like that, meaning she could have proved right there, I'm living in a sober, treatment center. Like, so why can't I basically keep my kid? I'm not using the correct terminology. No less restrictive alternatives, right?
Right, but that's something for her and her attorney to deal with.
Well, yeah, but
He keeps telling me not to talk about it. We're moved past that. We're way past that, to the point where now at the 3-month review, here we are again with the test results of a test that was back in July, preventing reunification in August. Like, I've tested 3 times since, and they're all negative. He's not representing me at all, let alone to chime in a day late and dollar short with no positive evidence to give to the. I've given him papers and documents, completions, testing, whatever, and he's not done anything with them. He has my kid's report card.
that test that they did at your home for the home study, was that like something that she said, here, go pee in a cup? Wow.
It's their test.
Yeah, Mr. Davis says we had somebody on a while ago, 00, and he's like a forensic something or another, but that probably could have easily been fought there, Mr. Davis, right?
Well, it could have. I don't have any of the paperwork in front of me. I can't really tell you, but everything can be challenged. Doesn't mean that you're going to win, right?
Yeah.
And none of this I feel is conducive to my daughter's well-being, because she's now suffering from trauma. She's now regressing to the point where she's 7. She wears a pull-up to bed because she's bedwetting. She's talking like a baby, and she's a trooper. And I get emotional, and I'm proud of her, but she's not okay. She was like a little dirt muffin all summer long. I met with them in the park because I couldn't come home yet. I had to cut her hair, clean her fingernails. Like, she was
not taken care of.
No, yeah. And she didn't know how. And I told them that. I talked to the CASA. I said, can you just, see if the foster mom will wash her hair in the sink or something once a week? And this was all a direct result of her talking to her father, who has never been in her life, who's on my divorce papers, and it states clear as day, but CPSW couldn't wait for those. And we told her several times, they're coming from the courthouse to you directly. Like, just wait for them. She never did. Contacted. Then my kid was forced to talk to him FaceTime at that. Like, that's why she was in counseling in the first place before them.
Is her father have any say in this case? Like, is he getting services or anything?
Which I knew he would be. I tried to work with him. He turned around and he bit me. And I said, I got enough on my plate. I left you for a reason. And it's in my divorce papers. And her being forced to talk to him, I was like, but why don't you see it now? They saw it for what it was only months after. Like, they monitored all the phone calls and everything. And my parent aides, I've had them from the beginning. And I love them to pieces, because they see the whole picture now. Now that I'm home, and I have been for a couple months, they're like, this is crazy. I said, I'm glad you see that now, because I don't look so crazy now, because I'm not, I've done everything they've asked me to do. What else is there left? Now they're ignoring me.
When is your next hearing again?
November 30th.
What type of hearing is it? Is it
the 6 months?
Do you have a copy of the report yet, or it's too early for that? Probably.
It's too early. Oh yeah, it's too early. I only get them a day or two before. And the talk of, there's been a motion made by my lawyer for last week on the 21st for reunification, because they wouldn't let him into the R2R, and their attorney, the DCWF attorney, quit. So we couldn't go into court. He didn't respond to the hearing for the motion. So I'm at the courthouse, like, waiting, and nobody showed up. Nobody told me. He said, it's a possibility, we're unsure, blah, 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 and went on a rampage, text message. That's all I got, text message. I mean, I literally don't know what to do with him anymore. He hasn't talked to me since Thursday. Which this was like all after a court date that I was told to get all this stuff in order, get my program, get the letters, get this, get that. I had everything all set, waiting at the courthouse, only to get a text message.
So did they continue with the hearing without you, or they didn't have it at all?
They didn't have it.
And that was supposed to be your 6 months? Just last week?
No, it was a motion. He was making a
Oh.
notification because he all of a sudden he saw this for what it was because they wouldn't let him into the meeting. They said that if they let my attorney into the meeting, that my CPSW and her supervisor would have to leave the meeting unless they had their attorney. So my attorney got another one to say, oh, if you behave, you can go to the meeting. And they wouldn't let him in. It's a Zoom meeting. So yeah, it was crazy. And throughout the whole time he kept texting me like it was my problem. And I'm like, I'm going on without you because I have to. This is a requirement. I've got to fulfill this or it doesn't look good on my behalf.
You know what? One of the things that you're going to have to do is get together all of your service providers, subpoena them to court, have them testify as to what you've done, and then have someone testify with respect to the visits that you've had. And that person may be you, it may be visitation monitor. But that's the only way you can win a 6-month where the social worker is not recommending the child be returned.
It's in all the paperwork too. That we recommend reunification, but the fact that she sent that email, which I had never got an email from her ever until that one for reunification's off the table with this case. I was like, based off what?
I want to answer this quick question. Karen says, I have a question. If one is accused of breaking the law, why are they not allowed a jury trial by their peers? Karen, whether you have a jury trial in any court in any state is up to the state legislature, and they have to pass a law. And it hasn't been deemed by the Supreme Court of the United States that CPS cases, it's a constitutional right to have a law. So your state has to give you the right to have a jury trial. I know in my state, in California, you don't have a right to have a jury trial. But in a state like Oklahoma, you do have a right to have a jury trial. But from what I understand, they very rarely take place. People have told me on more than one occasion that they're usually talked out of having a jury trial by their court-appointed attorney. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's just what I've heard. In Maine, I don't think you're allowed to have a jury trial either.
No, sir.
And in New Hampshire, I don't think you're allowed to have the opportunity to have a jury trial either. Are you, Lauren?
No, not for civil or family. No.
Yeah. Hey, look, we've run out of time tonight. Any last question you want to ask me, Lauren?
What is the best route of action to take? Like if I were to tomorrow go to the courthouse about just my lawyer and misrepresentation, is that really a bad idea? Is there a difference between filing a motion for misrepresentation and firing him?
Well, is he court appointed?
Yes.
Depending on the law in your state, I don't know if you can fire your court-appointed attorney. In California, they have something called a Marsden hearing, and I have a video on YouTube about that. You might want to watch it. And I'm sure that they have something in your state to get rid of a court-appointed attorney and get you a new one. One of the easiest ways to get rid of your court-appointed attorney is to hire a private attorney.
Right.
And have the private attorney just take over the case. But if you want another court-appointed attorney, you probably have to make a motion. Something like in California, it's called a Marsden motion, MARSDEN, I think, motion. I don't know what it'd be called in your state, but when you make that motion, here's where a lot of people fail. They don't present the evidence that's needed to show that you should get another court-appointed attorney. They just go in there and say, hey, judge, me and the attorney, we're not getting along, blah, 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 blah. And that's not legally sufficient in most cases for you to get a new attorney. So if you want a new attorney and you think you deserve one, you have the facts, write them down, and then have someone help you make that type of motion. You might ask the attorney, hey, don't you think you should get off my case? Because you have a conflict. And you'd be surprised. Some attorneys will say, yeah, I think
I
you should
did.
get off my case.
I was like, you can get on my case and get off my case. But you got to do something. I mean, I just don't feel like I have had any chance to I mean, from the way she was speaking.
Wait, hold on. Did your attorney say that he or she would get off the case? Yes or no?
I never really answered me, and then
Okay.
all of a
Well,
sudden,
hold on, so Lauren, but that means no. They're
right?
not gonna, they're not going to voluntarily get off the case. So you need to find out how to make that motion,
Okay.
and you might Google it, and you might Google what is a Marsden motion called in New Hampshire, and then you'll
Yeah.
find out. And although you shouldn't do this by yourself, you should get another lawyer, but you can start finding ideas by Googling it. You might find some form motions that you might be able to start with and take to an attorney to make the motion for you or to file the motion for you there in New Hampshire.
Right.
But I got to warn you about something, okay? Because a lot of people in their thought process and their analysis right there, who are you going to get to replace your court-appointed attorney?
Not Johnny Cochran.
Is it going to be another court-appointed attorney that's not going to do anything for you? Because
Nobody will pick up this case.
If it is, you're wasting time.
I know.
That's
why I actually stopped looking, because I'm getting rejected every corner I take with everything. There's either I do it myself and hope
no, you can't do it yourself. Come on.
I know. I know it's a bad idea.
Let's be serious for a second, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Is this case important to you?
This is the fight of my life.
Okay. It's the most important case you'll ever have, right?
Yes, sir.
Have you gone and talked to any private attorneys?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And why didn't you hire them?
They don't want to take the case.
Okay.
Hold
on. How many private attorneys have you gone to talk to?
Many.
How many?
What's the magic number?
Everywhere in Concord.
How many, Lauren?
At least 20.
Okay. Well, guess what the magic number is, Lauren?
50.
Right. Oh, you've been watching the videos.
You
just stopped at 20. You just stopped at 20. Okay. I'm telling people
30 more.
I'm telling people how to win their cases, but they don't want to follow it. It's okay. It's all right. You're just telling me that either this isn't as important to you as you say it is, or you're just discouraged and defeated. Either way, you got to pick yourself up and take the next step forward, because if they take this child away from you permanently, you'll never forgive yourself.
No.
You got 30 more calls to make tomorrow, Lauren.
I do. I do. I actually got a new number today, which I'm surprised, but I have called many, and they've been very willing to help me to the next number, but that's it. And, and they really jam your schedule full of stuff to do, these CPS, fun packs all week long. From Monday to Friday, it's, parenting class, IOP, and you just go. So I've turned my art room into the office, and this is where I am all week long if I'm not doing something else.
Because they want to break you, especially if it's a drug case, just so you know. They want you to just basically disappear off the end of the earth, as sad as that sounds. So keep doing what you're doing.
Lauren, we have less than an hour on the show, and you've only had 50% of it today. What you should do is, you see this number bottom right-hand corner?
Yes, sir.
You should call that number and make an appointment to have a consult with me, so I can go into more detail of exactly what you need to do. And maybe instead of getting rid of your attorney, because you may not have enough evidence to get rid of your attorney, you can give him or her the information that I'm going to give you to help you win your case. Because if you're telling me the truth that you've done everything, there is a way that you can win your case. Now, a lot of people tell me that, and it's not true. They're missing one or two things. Or they flunked the class. They went to domestic violence, and the counselor says, oh, Lauren did a shitty job. She probably didn't learn anything from it. And then, it's like, well, you didn't do everything. Okay.
Not me.
Okay. So write down that number, give me a call, and
Yes,
see if
sir.
I can give you a consult. We'll have a little bit more in-depth. And, the other thing is, I probably can tell you how to work with your court-appointed attorney, because you may not have a money tree in your backyard. You may not be able to get a private attorney, and you got to work with the public defender, or you got to work with the court-appointed attorney, because that's the best you have, and you got to make the best of it. It's better than nothing, believe me.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And, and we're very, We're very Italian, so we're very loud, and he's defended that in court even. And in the end of the day, we're okay when we're not talking directly about the discrepancies in the case. It's very bizarre. It's a very bizarre relationship, and I just need to be here with him, and I'm not.
Yeah. Well, you're gonna have to get there unless you
Yeah,
have an
for
extra
sure.
20 grand or 10 grand to hire somebody.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So give me a call.
All
Thank
right.
you, Lauren.
Thank you.
Good luck to you.
Thank.
Okay, Mr. Guai, any questions or comments before we leave the air tonight?
No, sir. I've been looking up these comparison things for you, so tomorrow we'll have something for that.
Okay. Miss Deidre Payne.
No, I don't have anything else.
Oh, hey,
Yes.
is this first Saturday?
No, not yet. This Saturday,
No.
September 30th.
Oh yeah.
It's next Saturday.
We have a week.
Woo!
But it comes fast, doesn't it?
It really did.
Do we already have attorneys lined up to do this seminar again?
Yes and no. We'll have to get some more.
I think this one's going to be the best so far. I feel it. I feel like we've got momentum.
Oh, one more thing, Mr. Davis.
Together.
Just to tell you, you're going to want to get off the show and go watch that Trenches show today. Darren was even going to have a guest cop be on the show today and give his side of what he thinks about CPS. And yeah,
that's good.
I guess it happens tomorrow, right?
Good.
Darren?
Well, tomorrow is not the day that we do it. It's Wednesday. Tomorrow's your show, Deidre.
No, but aren't you having him on your committee tomorrow? Sunday?
Yeah, but that's not anything to do with here. I think Mr. Davis should come to the council meeting.
I still don't know what it is, but he keeps telling me that he wants me to be involved too.
You should come. I'll send you an invite. You can join if you'd like.
What is it?
Put your Dr. Fowler hair on.
A group of different people through different aspects of the United States that are working to come up with a common conclusion to figure out how to beat these CPS guys in the courtroom. You should come check it out, Mr. D.
No guidelines. We could say what we want.
Oh, it's not.
Yeah, it's not live or anything. It's just like a little.
It's like a Zoom call or something.
Yeah, I do on Google Meet, but yeah every
Google
Tuesdays
Meet.
at 7. It's getting pretty big, so you should. I'll send you the link for it. You want to come, you can.
All right, Deidre, thank you for this evening co-hosting.
Real quick, did you get in contact with Mike before tomorrow? Or no?
Mike who?
Mike Bart. He got the report. He said he texted you and he asked me if he should do this or do that. And I said, I think you should ask him this. But I don't know if you got it or if you got back to him.
No, I didn't even see anything from him.
He said he texted your 310 number.
He texted me?
Yeah, because he asked me.
What's his number?
I gave it to you earlier. Let me get the piece of paper. Hold on.
704 something, right?
Okay, are you ready? This is on live TV. I mean, live. You want me to say it? Or type in the chat?
You can put it in the private chat.
Okay, hold on. Let me see. He's probably watching me.
You think Mike?
Okay. That's all I have to say, I guess. Did you get it?
Hold on.
Michael's getting very upset with me today, Mr. Davis, to where he wanted me muted. What do you mean that's a different number? That's what he called this morning. That's what he called this morning to get him to come on the show.
That's strange.
I don't have any number like that, any text from that number today. Ever. Not just today.
I know, but this is the number that I gave you this morning to get him to, or yesterday morning to get on the show.
Wow. So.
Okay, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Here, I have this number right here, Mr. D.
Okay.
4 999. There you go.
Well, that's not even close.
No.
To what? The number that Deidre gave you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Davis, go on your call log from yesterday morning when you called him to come on the show. I promise you it's this one. He's probably laughing right now, just wanting to. If you're watching, Mike, just you type it.
I have no text from that number, Darren.
That's the one I talked to him on.
Will somebody text him and tell him?
I'll text you after the show, or I'll call him on the one I have programmed in my phone, and then I'll tell him that you're trying to contact him or something. I don't know.
Pardon me for interrupting, but as I was saying, after the show, would somebody text him and tell him I'm going to be up late to go ahead and text me and send me the report, and I'll give him a call if he's up late. I know he's 3 hours ahead of me, so it's already 11 there. But
He's not sleeping. You know he's stressing out.
Okay. Go ahead and do it. Please text him, and then I'll see what happens. Okay? All right, folks, we'll see you tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Pacific time. You know,
Grace,
I'm getting a lot of questions in the chat. Do you guys want to do a show tomorrow just dedicated to questions from the audience? Or maybe even, I saw someone doing a live stream, and what they would do is that they would invite the person on, and they would spend 5 or 10 minutes with us on the live stream, asking their question and getting it answered. What do you think?
Didn't you used to do that, Mr. Davis? Like when you have the radio station? Remember?
No.
Didn't you used to?
It was just radio.
Oh.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
So tomorrow, folks, if you guys have questions, be prepared to text Grace your email or text your email or email your email so we can send you the link, and you can just come on the show for 5 or 10 minutes, ask your question, and we can ask you questions and get your questions answered. Okay? All right. See you guys tomorrow, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Good night.